Hi, everyone. There are two stakes races on Saturday at Del Mar, the Best Pal Stakes for 2-year-olds and the Yellow Ribbon Handicap for fillies and mares on grass. This segment will focus on the Best Pal. It's a grade 2 for 2-year-olds going 3/4 of a mile. And over the years, this has been one of the most predictable races on the summer stakes schedule at Del Mar. The last 25 years, 17 winning favorites in the Best Pal. So what's that? 68% win rate for favorites in the Best Pal. And not only is the race predictable, but it also is kind of a precursor of things to come. Some of the 2-year-old winners of this race, of the Best Pal, have gone on to do very important things down the road. Timber Country won the Breeders' Cup and the Preakness. Looking at Lucky, finished second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and then won the Preakness the following year, became a top older horse. And even in the last 5 years, we have seen some very good horses win the Best Pal, including last year. Let's take a real quick peek at a second-time starter in 2019 at Del Mar, going to post in the Best Pal Stakes, and Collusion Illusion was not favored. That's him one from the outside in the white cap. And here comes Collusion Illusion rolling down the middle of the track in the second start of his career to win the race. And not only did Collusion Illusion win this race, but he has gone on to become a top older horse this year at age 3. In fact, we saw him win the grade 1 Bing Crosby against older Colts and Geldings 1 week ago. So Collusion Illusion, last year's Best Pal winner, he came back and has now emerged as one of the top sprinters on the West Coast. I'm not so sure about the Bing Crosby. It wasn't a very strong race, but Collusion Illusion is now 5 for 5 around one turn. He won the Best Pal a year ago. He won the Bing Crosby a week ago. If we go back 5 years, we have an even more important horse, it turned out to be, and that was another second-time starter. His name is Nyquist. Let's take a look at the 2015 stretch run of the Best Pal. That's Nyquist on the lead in the Redham Silks. He'll go ahead and draw off from this field. A decisive win by Nyquist. And boy, did this guy turn out to be pretty good. A son of Uncle Mo. This was his second career start, his first graded stakes win. He would go on to win his next 6 starts, including the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and, of course, the Kentucky Derby the following year. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is the Best Pal, it's turned out to be a harbinger of things to come with these 2-year-olds down the road. Now, as far as this year's field, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the field. A field of 7 entered the race, and the 9-5 favorite on the morning line will be a horse shipping in from Kentucky. His name is Roderick. Second choice on the morning line will be number 5, Herd Immunity. He won his career debut and then finished 3rd in the grade 3 Bashford Manor. But when we go through and start talking about some of these colts that are in this field, you will see, I think, understand why Roderick should be extremely tough to beat. He's trained by Wesley Ward. He cost $550,000 as a yearling, a son of Into Mischief. And talking to trainer Wesley Ward early this week, he said that this colt showed his stuff from the very moment that he entered training. He looked like a good one. When you spend $550,000 for an Into Mischief, you hope that he's a good one. And it turns out so far, Roderick is very good. Now, he has only started once. Let's go ahead and take a peek at his only start. It was at Belmont Park on June 21st. It was a 4-horse field. He engaged in a speed duel. He shook off his pace rival down on the inside, who completely cracked. And that's Roderick and Irad Ortiz drawing away to win this 4-horse field at Belmont by more than 8 lengths with a 73 Beyer speed figure. He did it under wraps late. He had plenty in the tank. The runner-up, Zippy Baby, would come back to win his next start. So if a 4-horse field can be a productive race, maybe Roderick is that horse. He won a 4-horse field. The runner-up came back to win. Roderick shipped to Del Mar on Monday. And according to Ward's assistant trainer in California, Blake Heap, this colt acted like he practically owned the place. He went out to train for the first time on Tuesday morning, galloped a lap and a half, stood there, took everything in, walked off the track like it's no big deal. For a 2-year-old to act like an older horse, and that's exactly what Roderick did this week in training, that is a very good indication that this guy has a touch of class. I think he does. I think he'll be very tough to beat. He already is the high figure horse in the race. We'll talk more about the dynamics of the favorite win rate, and it's also as far as trainer Wesley Ward goes. But let's take a peek at some of the other contenders in the race, including Weston, who is number 6 in post position number 6 in a 7-horse field. Weston, based on a very solid career debut. And this was on June 21st at Santa Anita. And Weston, who was completely overlooked in this field, he popped the gate. He went to the lead. He set solid fractions. That's Ambivalent in the Redham Silks down on the inside, who ran well, finishing second. But Weston, with his early speed, he was long gone under Drayden Van Dyke. He wired the field. He earned a 67 Beyer speed figure. The runner-up Ambivalent ran well in defeat. He had a little bit of trouble into the lane, not enough to cost him the victory, in my opinion, but he ran well, and he should benefit from the stretch out from 4.5 furlongs to 6. Ambivalent, the runner-up, a son of Constitution, who was purchased for also $550,000. And he should improve. Ambivalent is still a maiden. It's not a big deal. When you're talking 2-year-old stakes races, maidens win these types of races all the time. Let's take a look at one more horse in the field, and he's likely to be the longest shot in the field. It's number 3, Schnell, and he made his career debut on June 26th at Los Alamitos. He was actually the second favorite in this race on the outside. He's going to gobble up the pace setter and kind of inch clear late. A good, solid win. The runner-up, who's flying on the outside, a horse by the name of Dynamite, was probably best this day. I was talking to his trainer, the trainer of Schnell, Simon Callahan, after the race, and he believes that 4.5 furlongs, this was actually a 5-furlong race, probably a little shorter than Schnell would have preferred. He earned a 44 Beyer speed figure. The final time was only 59 seconds. It was not what you would call an auspicious debut. What you would call it would be a winning debut by a colt who should improve as he progresses and as he matures. Okay, let's go quickly through the field. Number 1 is Sonic Breeze, one of 2 horses trained by Doug O'Neill. He probably should have defeated Herd Immunity first time out, but he had trouble. Second time out, Sonic Breeze broke running. He won by 2.5 lengths. He's down on the inside. I don't think he's quite as good as O'Neill's second horse, and that's number 2, Ambivalent, who ran well in his career debut, and he should improve with that race under his belt. We talked about Schnell. He'll be the longest shot in the field if the betting goes according to the speed figures, which it usually does. I think he's a better colt than that 44 Beyer speed figure would suggest, and he should be running late at a price. Number 4, Roderick. Okay, we talked about the predictability of this stakes race from a historical perspective. How about trainer Wesley Ward? Let's take a look at a very interesting formulator statistic. The last 5 years for trainer Wesley Ward in 2-year-old stakes races, when he starts the favorite, Wesley Ward 15 for 29. So not only is the Best Pal Stakes predictable, but Wesley Ward trained 2-year-old favorites in stakes races also are reliable, a 52% win rate, and surprisingly, a $2.07 return on investment. Just betting Wesley Ward trained 2-year-olds in stakes races. That does not include the ones that he ships overseas and wins over there. So Wesley Ward is a reliable trainer with 2-year-olds. We know that. The Best Pal, reliable race. Number 5 is Herd Immunity. He won his career debut. And then he shipped to Churchill Downs for the Grade 3 Bashford Manor. He looked like a contender going in, but he caught an absolute buzzsaw by the name of Cazadero. Cazadero would crush the best Bashford Manor at Churchill Downs. This is the next start for Herd Immunity, and we're going to get a good read on the quality of the Bashford Manor by the time this race, the Best Pal, is run on Saturday. The reason I say that, Cazadero is the favorite on Friday at Saratoga in the Grade 2 Saratoga Special. So if he wins that race, it's going to make Herd Immunity look a little bit better, look like a contender as the second choice on the morning line. Number 6 is Weston. He's speed. Not sure how good this guy is. He's a $7,000 yearling purchase. He's a gelding. He went wire to wire. He's the first winner sired by 2015 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf winner Hit It a Bomb. Weston, trained by Ryan Hansen, and this gelding is a good horse. We don't know how good he is. We don't know where he fits with the likes of Roderick and Herd Immunity, but Weston, who has trained well at Del Mar, and he should be a factor from gate to wire. And finally, on the outside, Peter Miller, second horse. Miller trains Herd Immunity. He also trains number 7, Girther, who Miller describes as fast. He'll be out there winging. So it's a 6 furlong sprint for 2-year-olds. Roderick acts like a good horse. He ran like a good horse, trains like a good horse. He's running in a stakes race that is highly predictable. Race number 6 on Saturday at Del Mar is the Best Pal Stakes, and it goes right through the morning line favorite. His name is Roderick.